I almost said it while I was burping.
I was looking at you. I was like, yo, he's definitely going to burp his name out.
All right, Nick.
All right. Welcome. Today we are tapping into our inner bowlers as we discuss the Big Lebowski. This is SOS Cinema. I'm Nicholas Pisconti.
I'm Andrew Seelig.
And I'm Stephen Dwyer.
So the movie pretty much starts out as Jeffrey Lebowski, who goes by the name The Dude, is attacking his home because the attackers think that he owes them $1 million, but it's not actually him. It's a different guy by the same name. And because he has no money to pay them back, the intruder's pissed on his rug. So it pretty much starts out as him going to the different Lebowski guy to ask for his money for the pissed on rug because it made the room tie together.
Yeah, it really was a good centerpiece for sure. He's in the bathtub too, right? They shoved him into a bathtub.
He's on a toilet, I think.
Toilet, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd be kind of pissed. Someone pissed on my bathroom rug too, so I'd definitely go to the dude that's owing $1 million and just, add that to his tab real quick. Be like, hey, you already owe $1 million? Pay for my rug.
Where's the money, Lebowski?
Yeah, so pretty much they go bowling a lot. It's him and his two friends, Walter and Donnie. And Walter is kind of a guy who kind of treats life like a movie. And Donnie is a kind of a dumbass who asks a lot of stupid questions. And Donnie's kind of like the kicking bag or the punching bag of the group. They kind of just shit on him whenever he talks. They got some pretty good chemistry. They love to bowl. They take bowling extremely seriously. And overall, a good time for the group. But
good quality fun time.
I mean, I've always wanted to get into bowling myself.
Donnie played by Steve Buscemi and Walter John Goodman, two great actors.
Very solid cast.
I think Phil Seymour Hoffman's in it too, right?
Philip Seymour Hoffman plays Brant.
Yeah. And also, is that dude still alive or is he dead?
He died. He died of a narcotics or opioid overdose, 2014. I was surprised by that.
Damn.
He's also in a movie, A Scent of a Woman, which is it's a really good movie. It's 6 years earlier with Al Pacino, and he plays the same type of character where he's always about to he always looks like he's about to break out laughing.
Right.
And I think he was really funny because he always had a sarcastic look on his face, and he looked like he was having a good time.
Yeah, he was a great actor.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. He's also in all the Hunger Games.
Yes, he played Plutarch Heavensby.
I didn't know that.
I've heard that name a lot. Was it
Philip Seymour Hoffman?
I've heard that name a lot. I didn't realize it was that guy though. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he's got a pretty deep movie.
Have you guys ever seen Synecdoche, New York?
No, I have not. What's that about?
Very strange movie. Philip Seymour Hoffman stars in it, and it's this guy who basically recreates a city just to make a play of his life. It's super meta and weird. You gotta watch it. It's pretty confusing, but I highly suggest.
So after he gets mad about his rug being pissed on, he gets called into Jeffrey Lebowski's office, the guy who's rich,
the real one, the one that owes money.
Yeah, and
not the dude.
Yeah, and he's not mad about the carpet. He calls him in because he wants him to be a courier. Or what's that called? He
wants him to drop off the money for him, right?
Because his wife Bunny has been allegedly kidnapped, and it's $1 million ransom, or she's gonna be killed. I just love how it's kind of it's 0 to 100 for this guy real quick. He's just a casual guy, but kind of a bum, and then all of a sudden it goes from I'm just gonna go bowling with my friends to he's part of some big crime now. He's
he's in an operation now. He's got
a hostage situation,
right?
He really does get sucked right into things.
But it's funny because he kind of keeps his whole personality of the dude the whole time too. He's when he's putting those situations, come on guys, chill, He still got that same vibe about him, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I definitely love his attitude, which kind of made the movie for me. Also, we watched the last episode. We watched Surf's Up, and he's very kind of a similar character as Big Z.
Also played by Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, so I was kind of surprised. I kind of thought that I kind of thought the Big Lebowski was more of a serious movie. It was kind of it was a comedy, but I think I had some substance to it. I think in this movie, the
soundtrack's phenomenal.
I think this is a perfect example about how a soundtrack
can make or break.
Amazing.
Because without this fire soundtrack,
it starts with 1 second, I forget the name of it.
Well, while you look for it, I will say to go off of your point, this does show how like, so this is definitely a cult classic type movie. And I would say, to your point, I think it's solidified as a cult classic due to its soundtrack, which shows that like the songs and the music in movies like definitely guides the way that a viewer should feel while watching the movie and guides the experience of a film. And this is one of those classic examples, I think, where like, I don't know, in my opinion, I know Andrew has a different opinion, but for me, this movie wasn't really like super deep and didn't have that much substance to it, even though it was a great movie in its own way. But I think that, like Andrew was saying earlier, that the soundtrack of this film definitely carries it 100%.
Yeah, they open up with a song from 1946 called Tumbleweeds by the Sons of the Pioneers. And as soon as I heard that song, I kind of knew like the movie was going to be like kind of a vibey movie because
it had a really like old Western feel to it almost.
Yeah.
Because, and like it starts with the stranger who we see later on in the movie. And he's the narrator. And he, like, when you see him, he's got this crazy mustache and he's dressed like a cowboy.
it's like very comically like
And-
overdone.
Yeah.
Sam Elliott, right, plays him?
Sam Elliott. And the
Great
like the way
actor.
he describes like the beginning of the story when he like sets the background. He's like he's just kind of saying it like it's an old Western. He's like every era needs its man.
Exactly.
And the dude is the man.
Yeah, like he fits the time and the place perfectly. And he really does. I feel like he's an early 90s guy, like
Is he
kind of
supposed
like
to be a stoner though? Like I don't get like
Yeah.
what he is.
he was he loves joints and White Russians and
Yeah.
Yes.
there was a lot of dream sequences. I'm gonna get into that later, but he mentioned it once in the movie that like they were like acid. He has like acid flashbacks.
Okay.
So I think they're kind of a combination of a dream sequence and just like acid flashbacks. But he was like kind of
Well, he gets drugged at one point too.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. But I think the part where he mentioned that at one point. I'm not sure if those were acid flashbacks. But the part where he was knocked out on the floor by
Yeah.
Maud
Yeah, and he has that wacky dream.
yeah, when he's like flying through the sky. That was a I don't know, maybe part acid flashback, part just like a dream sequence. But
Yeah.
I really enjoyed those parts. And also like they started with that song from 1946, but the title song was "The Man and Me" by Bob Dylan. And I watched the movie for the first time yesterday. I've watched it twice in total since then. I mean, but I've already ruined that song by playing it so much. This is a fire song, I just got to say. And if you stay tuned, I might be singing at the end of the podcast, so you might want to stick around.
Oh yeah. there's a great reason to watch till the end.
Definitely.
I'm gonna try out my vocal cords. I haven't really warmed up yet, so we'll see what happens.
But yeah, I will say, I don't know, this movie definitely has like some aspects of like, kind of reminds me of like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas a little bit. And then kind of, I don't know, I mean, it definitely feels like that like cult classic kind of genre type feel. We'll be talking about it in a later podcast, but you'll see that. I think this movie is honestly very similar to a movie called Bottle Rocket as well. Where it's not necessarily like when you watch it for the first time, you're not necessarily like, wow, this is super deep or anything. But as you keep watching it, you uncover smaller little details that add to the bigger picture overall, which make it so timeless, I guess. So yeah, in those aspects, I think it's definitely really interesting. And also, I mean, honestly, like I can't really even think of any other themes in the movie, maybe other than the characters like have self-growth or something. But besides that, I really can't think of anything else.
Who learns anything about themselves?
Like that dude that's like creating, like, so he's like, this is gonna be like a movie or whatever. Like, so they go into it and like,
The dude's like, no, Walter's just like, he just still thinks he's in Vietnam.
yes, I guess.
And like he's still at the end, like he like in Donnie's like eulogy when they're spreading when he's spreading his ashes, all he talks about is bowling, and then he talks about Vietnam, which like has nothing to do
That's true, I guess. Yeah.
with Donnie's life, because Donnie did not go to Vietnam,
Yeah, that's facts.
and then Donnie dies, so he doesn't get to learn too much about himself. And his
I know, but through that
his friends
process,
are
I
always
guess.
like, Donnie, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but I guess he was like a part of the crew at that point. I mean, going out on the mission with them, maybe.
The dude is a father at the end, but like, is he a father?
be a father to
He
the
just
kid.
kind of planted his seed.
And like
He did. He kind of just dumped and ditched.
I really liked it, like the whole thing with like when Donnie did die, it was kind of a nice like I thought that was like very touching because he kind of like he was fighting with Walter, and he kind of like holds him
that's
close.
Nice. A friend died.
No, like, but like him and Walter kind of got together, and they kind of like, even though Walter was annoying, the dude a lot, he still like you know, they hugged a little bit. They kind of realized like, damn, our friend's gone.
Yeah.
And like
Brought them closer.
Like life kind of just went on, and they ended up going to bowling, and they obviously bowling is all they did, and they played Dead Flowers Semi Dead Flowers by, I think it's by the Rolling Stones, but it was by
Townes Van Zandt.
I love that guy.
That's
very good.
Townes Van Zandt's amazing. That song I heard.
Good folk singer.
Yeah,
and
I love that. I love that part.
Yeah, honestly, I mean,
Right after Sam Elliott asks for a nice ice cold sarsaparilla.
Yeah, I don't know. That was my biggest drawing thing, was the music in the movie. I think I think without it, I mean, if they chose like any different soundtrack to like accompany the film, I think it would have flopped 100%. Just especially because, in my opinion, the plot's just like so not important.
I thought an interesting, like maybe a little like literary part of this movie was like the Big Lebowski. Oh, the dude and the Big Lebowski, like the actual Jeffrey Lebowski, they had the same name, and I think they were kind of polar opposites of characters. Like, the dude was kind of like very, like he was very go with the flow, had no job, he was unemployed, and really no worries, and didn't really try to hold a facade of being like this great like, you know, person or anything. But the other, the actual, like the rich guy, the big Jeffrey Lebowski, like he definitely had the facade of trying to be a rich guy, and I think he was kind of lacked freedom because of this. And this could be a hot take. Do you think that the wheelchair was like a metaphor for like how he
Probably.
like was not free? Because
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it could be showing how like
Especially
even though
back in the 90s.
yeah, I don't know, it could be like even though he's poor, or the dude's like poorish, he's living a freer, like you said, like a freer, better life. He's
free.
happier, and like with money becomes more problems. I guess more money, more problems.
Yeah.
So
kind of a ill chosen metaphor, you know, not really PC, but yeah.
I mean,
And he finds out at the end that the Big Lebowski didn't even have that much money.
right.
It's all in like the mom's fund.
Yeah. And I thought that was funny. Obviously, like this, I don't think this would fly in a movie right now. But when what's his name? Walter.
When
picks
Walter
him up.
picks
I've never more true in my life. This guy's fake, and I've seen this spinal before. And just throws him on the ground.
just classic Walter
And-
being like,
Right, it's just absurd.
he
bro.
always thinks he knows that like the craziest thing possible is about to
Right.
happen. He's like, I know this is gonna happen. I gotta stop it.
Perfect example of a great comedic relief character. He really he's the glue of the movie. Keeps you laughing for sure. So I would say, honestly, I didn't even think the dude was funny. Like, I don't
I don't think
think
he was supposed to be that funny though.
right.
I think it was just
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty dry.
But it's funny too, because when you look up a lot of critics' reviews of this movie, they're like, yeah, this movie's a cult classic for so many reasons. One of the reasons they say is like the movie's hysterical, and like, I mean, there's funny parts of the movie for sure, but I wouldn't say it's like hysterical.
I
mean,
mean, we're too young to understand.
there's a lot
it,
of funny
maybe.
parts, dude.
I think there's some good humor in it.
When Donnie says anything, there's like, "Shut up, Donnie."
Yeah, that
Walter
Walter's
always
just
we talked about this before, but Walter always brings up Vietnam. Like no matter what, he's like at the diner and he's like, "Hey, can you keep it down?" He's like, I fought in Vietnam for this, like the right to do like, and the dude's like, "This has nothing to do with Vietnam.
I'm gonna drink my coffee.
I'm gonna stay here and drink my coffee."
When they're doing the delivery of the money, and he's like, "No, we're keeping the money. Fuck these guys, okay? Give me the ringer." He's gonna throw the phone out the window.
Yeah.
And the dude's like, "No, what are you doing, man? Like, this isn't a movie. Like, we gotta just make the deal." And he's like, "No, fuck that, dude." He just grabs it and throws it out the window.
Yeah, pretty ludicrous for sure. It's pretty litty.
Also, a couple scenes I really
Unhinged.
like where when he like nailing the chair to the floor, and then like just shows the door open the other direction. I thought it was pretty funny, but I think that by far the funniest scene in the movie was when he just got beaten up by what was the guy, the doctor, the porn guy, the porn director.
Oh, Jackie Long. What? No, Jackie Treehorn.
Yeah, it was Jackie Treehorn,
Yes, Jackie Treehorn.
and he was
throwing a party. Pretty sick banger. They had like a bunch of big fires. There was some girl who was like naked, and they were just tossing her up in the air on like a big sheet.
It's kind of like
really fun.
kind of like a fever dream vibe, even like I mean, I've never been a Burning Man, but like that's what I imagine Burning Man.
I immediately thought of Burning Man as well.
Yeah.
I can see that for sure.
But yeah, my favorite part is when he gets. Well, actually, my two favorite parts in the whole movie
kind of a freak.
Was when they drug the dude.
Wait, before that, like when they're talking, there's one part he starts like asking the dude about stuff, and he starts talking about like erotic software. He's like the future is electronic pleasure. Yeah. This dude's such a weirdo.
Yeah,
it's not wrong though.
Doctor guy.
Yeah.
That was weird scene. Like, this is like a really like cult classic kind of movie. Like, you would never see that in a mainstream movie.
Yeah,
it's just a fever dream type movie.
Well,
yeah,
he gets drugged by the guy, and then he goes into the most like crazy dream sequence, and I love that dream sequence so much because it like perfectly embodies what like a dream is. Like, you can't really remember dreams like when you wake up, but like that's the kind of a dream I'd have. Like, he sees Saddam Hussein, who was like relevant at the time.
Literally,
he sees like. I think there's a bunch of wine bottles on like a shelf and like kind of scrolled up to look like a guitar. It was that just reminds me of like a dream or like even like some like a different dimension or something. It was crazy. I really like that part.
Yeah,
and they played the song by Kenny Loggins. I forget the name of the song.
Saddam Hussein hands him his bowling shoes.
Just so random.
That reminds me of how in like Happy Gilmore when they're at the end of the movie. And he's looking up at the sky. He sees like Chubbs, the alligator, and then Abe Lincoln just like chilling up there. It's like, why? Like, what?
Who are you waving to?
Oh, no one. But yeah, I don't know. That's like, I don't know. I mean, in that respect, yeah, I do think that like it deserves his credit because like it's so outlandish, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
but like
to just go out there.
Yeah.
And to hit with some people, you know?
You know what? Yeah. Definitely.
I really like this movie.
It's got a, yeah.
Also, the scene where he gets beaten up by the police. No, he gets drugged. Runs from the cops.
And then when he's in
really
the
drunk.
Malibu police station.
And they yell at him. And then does he get hit by them? Does he get knocked out or something?
Yeah, I forget what he says.
Throw a mug at him.
Oh, the cop is like, he goes through like a whole rant. He's like, I don't like you. And then he's like, do you understand that, Lebowski? And the dude's like, Could you say that again? I wasn't listening. And then he like throws a mug at his face.
Yeah, then he's like in the taxi the taxi, and he's like, they're playing I Got a Peaceful Easy Feeling.
Yeah.
That's a sneak peek of my singing for later on this podcast.
That was pretty beautiful.
Thank you. And
Angelic.
the guy, like the taxi driver is raging. And he's like, can you turn off can you change the channel, man? He's like, no, if you want to change the song, get your own taxi cab or whatever. And he's like, come on, I had a bad night. I hate the fucking Eagles. And the guy just like rages, throws him out of the cab. I just thought it was so funny because they're playing Peaceful Easy Feeling, which is like one of the most chillest songs there is. And the guy's like road raging to I got a peaceful easy feeling.
Definitely.
Come on, guys, sing along with that.
I don't know the lyrics, man.
Neither do I.
Should've
I think you should just take it away for us. Take it away.
Yeah,
give us another line.
And I don't want you to let me down, I think.
Oh wow, your singing like it started out pretty good, but what happened there towards the end?
I got nervous. I got a little stage fright because I know, like, you know, if you think about this, at a certain point, there could be like 1 million people listening to this episode because if we blow up,
there is right now.
Honestly, this is live, I think, is it?
Yeah.
Damn.
We're live in front of a studio audience of simulation people. I mean,
really?
It's time to wake up.
Oh my god.
I think at the end of the day, that's the whole moral of the Big Lebowski. It's basically just trying to tell us to wake up.
Nah, let's talk about Bunny and the kidnapping, quote unquote. So that's like kind of the basis of the plot of the movie, right?
Yeah.
I really like when he first meets Bunny, and she's like, "I'll suck your dick for $1,000." Was that I think that was the first time.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
And then she's like, Brent has to pay $100 to watch.
And the guy, he's just like laughing.
Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, just like such a sarcastic character. I love that guy.
And then she has like a friend in the pool, and the dude's like, he's like, "What? Are you sure he wouldn't mind?" And she goes, "Billy doesn't care about anything. He's a nihilist."
I didn't really get that part, the whole nihilist thing.
Like nihilism, it just means like you you submit to the absurd. Like,
Yeah.
you don't think nothing matters.
I know, but like, what did they like?
They're just like, we are nihilists. We do not care.
is that just a joke the whole time? Is there no meaning to that?
That was really funny to me.
Yeah, like the auto when they burn the car at the end. The auto.
We will take your Johnson.
Yeah, really funny.
Also, I have to say, Tara Reid, who plays Bunny.
That was Tara Reid.
Yeah.
She looked so familiar. I was like, I think she was in American Pie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sharknado, which we should review that too.
Sharknado coming soon.
But yeah, she
Tara
kind
Reid,
of
I
fell
hope
off.
you're doing well.
That's why she was doing Sharknado probably. They did 8 Sharknados.
Is it
And
really?
there's one, so like Sharknado 7, they go into space and they go,
No kidding. Sharks in space?
yeah, it's so funny. They're in a space station and they're fighting sharks. And like, how do sharks survive in space? And like one of the characters goes, how did the shark survive in a tornado? And they go, fair point. It was the most absurd movie. I recommend watching that whole series. I haven't like seen it, but I've seen the clips.
She's
Did
something
you
else.
guys notice the running thread throughout the film?
The running thread?
There was one running thread that I noticed.
Explain, for sure, explain.
It was the dude smelling half and half to make sure it was good.
That is true. He did. I did notice that. Yeah, when he's making his
that was good.
White Russians.
I
Or,
picked that up.
In the very first scene, he's in the grocery store. That while the guy's talking, he's just like,
That's really funny.
yeah, that's definitely one of those things too, where like you might miss out on the first time watching it through, but each time you watch it, you pick up little things. You know.
yeah. I've seen
the
it a
little
few
things.
times.
I would say that this movie has a very similar vibe as like Pineapple Express, where like it's kind of like a Daisy movie, like just a lot of random stuff happens and like
Yeah,
I would say
you can just
probably
throw
a
it on
stoner
a
movie.
Sunday.
Yeah, it's definitely a stoner movie.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
if you're like 30-year-old stoners probably live
Yeah.
for the Big Lebowski.
And you know what? I feel like honestly, now that you bring it up, I feel like Pineapple Express could be kind of like a newer, like modern day Big
Correct.
Lebowski
Yeah,
kind of.
that's
Yeah,
my exact point.
honestly, yeah,
Yeah, because it's like
pretty-
similar plot
it
lines.
is.
Because the plots are kind of pointless,
Stoner
but
schlub gets wrapped into
they're kinda like-
yeah,
and they kind of treat their friends like shit.
Something.
At the end, they kind of appreciate them.
right. Because I'm
Yeah.
pointing that in
doesn't one of
Pineapple
the
Express,
friends
they're like,
die?
I
in
hate you, like
Pineapple
you got me
Express?
into this stuff and like all that stuff. They come together at the end, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. And did one of them die? No, one of
No,
them
Red almost dies. Red gets like shot up like 10
he's just
times.
sitting in the diner being like,
He just like dies and he's like, is he dead?
We'll
And he
save
gets
that
back
movie
up
for
and he's like,
another Big
Danny
Bob.
McBride, you rat.
Danny McBride, low key, like one of the goated actors. I feel like that's also
He's so-
underrated, dude. He's so
so
underrated. He's Eastbound and Down. He's into that TV
Tropic
show.
Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. Yep. Yeah. Oh, he's also in this new movie on Netflix. Danny McBride. It's an animated movie. Shoot. Don't know the name, but basically about robots taking over the world, which is also a huge shot. Like Eric Andre's in it too.
Wow.
It's pretty good, honestly. Highly recommend. But it's basically a huge shot at Amazon. And kind of like because like 100% is the robot company has like the Amazon smile underneath, which is kind of funny. I think it's just basically alluding to how Amazon, Jeff Bezos, when he takes that mission to go out in space, you just stay out there and stay on the moon. I think we'll all be better off.
Is Jeff Bezos actually going to space?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the thing. He wants to go. I know it was like all over the news. He was saying that it's been like a long time goal of his to go into space. So he's like gonna just hop on like the next space mission out there, which is such a rich person thing
I
too.
think he's trying to one up Elon Musk.
Oh,
Elon
for
Musk is
sure.
doing everything, and he's like, I'll go to space before him.
I feel like honestly too, like Jeff Bezos is the type of person where like, no doubt you can't doubt his like smarts and like ability to make money, but I think intellect wise, Elon Musk is so much smarter and like has more like brain capacity, power, maybe even. And now it's just kind of like they're trying to like big dick each other so you can do like the craziest like rich person thing to do, you know?
Fair.
Yeah, that's a topic for another day too. But yeah, I'm not a big Jeff Bezos fan. Man also has a seat on the Pentagon and is what's it called? He's like in charge of like imports and exports out of our country, which makes zero sense because like he has no government or military background, but it's strictly because Amazon could like buy out 5 different countries, which I think is absurd.
Do you think Jeff Bezos smokes weed?
I think Jeff Bezos is a terrible person.
you know-
Do you
you
think
what-
he's
Did I
a
say
human
that?
being, or is he a
No, dude, he's an
robot?
alien. He's one of the reptilians for
I bet
sure.
he's a
dude.
robot.
You know when Elon Musk smoked the blunt or a joint on the Joe Rogan Experience?
Didn't know that.
When he did that, he actually lost his security clearance So he couldn't like get into some of the projects that SpaceX were doing.
Yeah.
So he's like, I had to go to the Pentagon. Like, guys, can I please have my security clearance back? And they gave it to him because Elon Musk. But, like,
It's
that's
so
just so funny. 'Cause That's like something
Please
that's
have
like
my
something that
security
ordinary people
clearance
go
back.
through. Like if they do illegal drugs, like they will lose their security clearance. And he's like one of the richest guy on earth, and he had to go with this same problem.
If he just says please,
like,
they're
please, come on,
"Alright."
guys, and he got it back.
You know, it was another moment where it's like, it just like sums up the character that is the dude. Is when I don't even know who it was, because he gets just like he gets kidnapped so many times in this movie. Like people just like show up and they're like, get in the car. And they
Just take him.
But one of the times when they take him, he had just poured himself a White Russian, and they come in here and there he's like, Lebowski, come with me, or Lebowski, come. You know,
Doesn't he always have it in hand
accent.
too, the White Russian, whenever he's
And-
getting taken?
And they're like dragging him and pushing him into the car, and he's like, careful man, there's a beverage here.
Yeah.
He
I
doesn't
wonder if the
spill
White
any of the
Russian
drink.
symbolized anything, because that was like a major thing. That
It's
was
just
always
his drink of
like
choice.
Just his preferred drink.
Yeah, I loved how the cowboy guy was just like some creepy guy. Like,
Yeah, it was
he was
pretty
some
creepy.
random dude talking about like some guy he knew at the bar.
He knew exactly what was going
He's like,
on all the
"Aw,
time.
man, like, makes me feel good. There's knowing there's people like that. You know, like for all the sinners out there. You know.
Yeah.
I thought he was like very funny, and I thought like he
He's like,
solidified the movie's randomness.
He's like, I did find it sad when Donnie died, but then again,
Yeah, it's kind of wild. I know this movie was just very like, it's what's it called? I don't know. Did we talk about that with St. Elmo's Fire? Honestly, in a way where it follows like a point in time, but like you know what I mean. We're just like thrown into it. It's so random, and like the randomness of it, kind of like, I think that's the whole point of it. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of similar. I mean, this is a Coen's brother movie, and I haven't
is?
seen too many movies. Yeah, it's the first one they made. I'm pretty sure.
I had no
And-
idea the Big Lebowski was a Coen
Yeah, I know
Brothers
it's
film.
crazy, and they made
Sick research me.
Huh?
What? Wait, I never got.
They made Fargo and Ballad of Buster Scruggs. I haven't seen Fargo yet. They made
Fargo's
a bunch.
amazing.
We'll
They
we'll add
also
that to our list
made
at some point, but
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
yeah, Oh Brother, We're Out
Oh,
There,
that's
which
John-
definitely
John
coming up, I
Goodman
think,
plays
couple
the
months.
Cyclops in that.
Really?
Yeah,
I find it funny that for the most part, like whoever like screenwrites or directs a film too, usually like keeps the same people in their movies. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I think it's just
a lot of directors do that.
you gotta take
Yeah.
care of the people you know. I think
Yeah, I wonder if they're like friends, the Coen brothers, and
A
like,
little
the cast
bit.
people. Or something like
Tarantino
that.
does the same thing.
Right?
Scorsese for
Wes
sure,
Anderson.
with like De Niro and Pesci, Pacino.
Dude, speaking of Pesci, he's getting way old, dude. If you look at
That's what happens to all of us.
well, yeah, but he just did not age well. Him and De Niro honestly did not age well at all. If you see them in Goodfellas and look at them now, they're just like, damn, like they're old. And I know that was like so long ago for them. Like
De
that was,
Niro's
like,
pretty
like,
old.
but they just, dude, they're all gray and like, especially Pesci, dude. That man looks like he's about to keel over any second.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into Pesci right now because it's kind of unrelated. But I do respect Pesci a lot because he's one of those actors who, like, he only does the movies he wants to do. Like, he didn't like after like I don't know what his last movie was, but Casino, or maybe like he did like the Stay Home Alone or something.
Mhm.
But like he didn't do like I'm pretty sure he didn't do like anything until The Irishman for like a while.
Really?
And that's kind of different from De Niro, who was doing up all these like cheap movies because
Meet
like
the
De Niro did like a
Fockers.
kids movie too, in a way, like a family movie.
Meet the
Fockers.
Fockers too.
Meet the Parents, and they did like Dirty Grandpa.
Okay.
Maybe like The Intern or whatever, The Internship or whatever, that one of those movies. But I think the reason they did that is because like I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure to like pay off divorce fees, which kind of sucks because his legacy was like so solid, but now it's like he had like 40 years of like really solid acting, one of the best
Right.
careers ever. The last 20 just like a garbage career.
Yeah, like he just made this movie in 2020 called The War with Grandpa. I haven't even heard about
That's
that.
just so
It looks
random. Like it's
terrible.
probably the worst movie ever.
Yeah. Oh, I was talking about The Family was the one I saw. It was in
Meet the Family?
2013. It's basically like wait, I think it is this one, maybe. Yeah, it is. The Family's basically like Goodfellas meets Meet the Fockers. It's like supposed to be like a lighthearted like mob
So random.
family moves
So
to
random.
like it's just not it. And I mean it's decent, but literally if you look it up, I guess 28% Rotten Tomatoes kind of just shows you like they're just filler fluff movies.
Yeah. Going back to like the Coen brothers, like I know for Ballad of Buster Scruggs, there's like 5 chapters in that movie.
It's a great movie too.
It is a great movie, but similar to the kind of the same vibe where it's just a bunch of randomness. And I don't know. I like their movie style. I think they kind of deal with death, at least in the two movies I've seen, and I think A Brother Where Out There they also deal with it. But like, I think that was kind of a big theme, and in The Big Lebowski, because this friend dies, and the kind of theme was like life just kind of goes on, and when the creepy like cowboy man was like, "Hey," I don't think it was a bartender asked, or said, "I'm sorry about Donnie." And he goes, "Oh, it's, it happens. There's gutters, balls, and there's strikes.
So, strikes and gutters, ups and downs." And
it kind of just like life just goes on. Like, Donnie dies and they just go bowling, and it sucks. And it kind of made me kind of feel empty at the end a little bit because, like, I mean, it is kind of like damn, like one day we're all gonna die, and it's gonna be like that's it, and like life just goes on.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a really powerful ending of the movie. I know it's kind of like a random movie, but I think there were some powerful parts. Again,
definitely there's some motifs in there.
It's like that's just like 4 words besides the 2 ands. Like, especially like it just kind of like says it all, how it's like a movie about bowling and like just being the dude, but it's also like, like that's like a way of life almost, like, you just kind of keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
Goes
really
up,
random.
goes down.
Honestly too, and that's kind of like the vibe that the Coen brothers like to do with their movies, because Fargo and The Ballad of Buster Scruggs kind of have like the similar, not similar at all in like the plots, but similar in the aspect where you're kind of thrown in each of their movies to this random scenario type deal. And it's just kind of like you're in this like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's just like this like how did you describe it earlier? You got a great word for it. I forget.
Random. I don't know what I said.
But yeah, it's just so random. You're just tossing into these random scenarios that are just like so bizarre.
And then it ends in this really strange, bittersweet way.
Yeah. I guess like somewhat deep, and like I don't know. I think they do a great job with that for sure.
I think the overall point of the movie, and I think like I know like
Fever Dream is what I was thinking of, by the way.
Yeah,
all the movies
feverish.
Like that. Feverish for sure.
I really love this movie because I don't know why. I don't think it was like the greatest movie ever, but I thought it was like a really good movie because I thought that the point of like the movie was like the Big Lebowski is just a normal guy, and he just goes through all these like crazy challenges, and he kind of just takes it head on. Like, he doesn't like, I don't know, he's just very chill about it. He loses his car, he loses his Credence tapes, he loses his papers, his business papers, and he just kind of lives. He goes through it, and like I lost my yesterday I lost my mic clip for my microphone just for the stand. And I was kind of stressing about it all the time, like, because I have so much things going on. I got work, I got the podcast, I got like all this stuff that I got to do.
You got your divorce you got to take care of.
Oh yeah, hey, don't bring that up, man. It's kind of hard right now.
That's a touchy subject.
Yeah. Talk about some other podcasts, but yeah, I'm going through a tough divorce.
Yeah, him and LeBron James
marriage
are actually
story
filing right now. I mean, we can get into a little bit.
You can make jokes about it, but it's not LeBron. It's actually my wife of 20 years.
Shoot, I thought it was LeBron.
I said that as a cover. I was kind of feeling sad.
Well, then why has LeBron been sleeping with me for the past couple weeks then?
I have to cut this part out.
Why?
Damn, but yeah. Yeah, it kind of just takes life and kind of as it's thrown at him, and like
the dude abides.
He's very stoic. Very stoic character. Anyway, I don't want to drag it on too much. I think overall, really good movie. If any of you guys have like final thoughts, like
we'll say one last thing. I think the Coen brothers honestly do a good job too, or maybe even to the point where they make these these movies with seemingly pointless plot lines become somewhat deep, and I think that they do that because in their own writing style, maybe they're trying to show that a movie doesn't need to be inherently deep to have a deep message, and it can still be like lighthearted but have a deep tone to it,
Yeah, this perfect example of how I think the number one thing I take away from this movie is just the music, how valuable that is for making a movie.
You got Bob Dylan songs in there. I mean, he's got range too. You got songs with the Eagles.
He's got Looking Out the Back Door by Creedence.
That cover of Hotel California.
Yes.
I think it's by
Jesus, the guy who's like,
it's by the Gypsy Kings in Spanish. It's actually amazing.
It is phenomenal.
Also, my two final points. I just want to bring up when the nihilists come to take the money for Bunny from like the dude and Walter, and like they already know that Bunny was never like they never had her hostage. She's already back with the Big Lebowski, so they're just like, we take the money, and they're like, no, like you don't even have her. That's not how this works. And then Walter escalates it naturally, and the guys like they take out swords and they attack. And then like Walter literally just grabs one of the dudes, like he drops the sword and he dead ass bites this man's ear off.
Yep.
And spits it up in the air.
And he spits it
Mike
like
Tyson
15 feet in the air. And then one of the other guys, like one of the nihilists, screams, "I am fuck you."
I am fuck you. That's awesome. Loki honestly just adds to the ludicrousness of the movie.
And that's when Donnie has a heart attack.
Oh,
Yeah.
true.
Because they make you think one of the guys shot him, but then they go up to him and is like, no, there was no shots fired.
Right.
You know,
had a
Steve
heart
Buscemi
attack.
was kind of like
He's a great actor.
he's kind of
too,
like
side
Pete
note.
Davidson of the past. I feel like.
He Loki looks like him. I will say they have like similar features.
Yeah.
about them.
And he was in King of Staten Island.
Yeah, he was one of the firemen.
Yep.
I haven't seen
Steve
that. But I was looking
Buscemi
at
is in
the-
every single movie.
He's a great actor, but yeah, I feel like honestly he has like that look about him that like, and I feel like Pete Davidson
just
like has like
belongs.
this, dude, he, I don't know, like has like
Crazy
this
eyes.
self like loathing kind of a like look to him, and like I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know, I feel like it makes him like such a funny guy in like
Play that
movies
role
too.
and can't shit on. Like I feel like a lot of actors would not take
Can
that
we
role.
do Grown Ups soon?
Grown Ups is great when he's in the full body cast.
Wiley, is the field goal good?
I didn't know he was in that.
Yeah, great. Honestly, I would say great movie, even though I am not the biggest fan of Paul Blart. Dude, what's his name? Kevin James.
Kevin
I
James.
honestly
I
think
heard
that
he's
Kevin,
an asshole.
I don't know. I feel like that's been a big thing because I've heard he's an asshole, but I also don't think he's like that great of an actor. I mean, he's like all right. He makes like B-level films overall, and I feel like he gets carried by Adam Sandler. That's another story for another
He's
day.
making his money.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got.
Yeah. So overall, I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was a really decent movie.
I would rate it honestly like a solid like. If we're gonna go out of 100, I rate it like an 86 out of 100. I'd say like
Yeah,
it's solid
good
like
score.
B-level film, not like acting wise, but I'd leave it like on a tier of like I mean it's like B. It's not like an A+ movie, but you know it's great. I think it's a good movie. Definitely think it's worth the watch.
Definitely a type of movie you put on like when you're drinking and like want to watch a movie. I feel like.
Yeah, you don't need to be fully invested to get what's going on. And if it's like if you watch it like you like Andrew was saying, like you're just like drinking or whatever,
Like your friends, like a
Your
fun
friends.
movie to turn on.
I
Great
think you'll pick it
Sun-
up and you'll like it, and then you can watch it another time. And then you'll get the
Great
deeper
Sunday
things.
hangover movie too.
Great Sunday. Add it to the Sunday hangover list. We got this one, and we got what was the other one we had last week?
Surfs Up.
No. Ratatouille. So Steve's Sunday hangover list is
we might have to start making a list
yeah. So we got 2 so far, but yeah, I mean honestly, great movie. I'd say
because like it's always on TV. No, I shouldn't say always, but I've seen
it's on
it
there a fair
a
amount.
good amount of times.
Definitely. But yeah, well, thank you all for tuning in this week. If you want to send us any emails or comments or movie suggestions, you can do that at
sos.cinema.sos@gmail.com. Next time we're gonna be watching it's the
Again, that's SOS
James
Dog.
Dean movie. Dude, I'm gonna edit this.
Cinema.
Oh.
Oh, we're doing Rebel Without a Cause.
Yeah.
Rebel Without a Cause. So next time we are watching Rebel Without a Cause.
Nick's tearing me apart.
Yeah.
So this guy, that's main actor in it, right? In the movie. Isn't it?
James Dean, yeah, he dies. Let's talk about it later next time though. But
Whatever.
So yeah, guys.
Yeah.
If you want us to send you pictures so you can make voodoo dolls of us, we're not gonna send you them.
I'll send you a
Sorry.
picture of Andrew, but just not of myself.
Yeah, I'll sign you up for Andrew's Christmas card.
Yeah, I can also give you a social security number and credit card information if you need it.
yeah, guys. Nick showed me his new debit card. It actually looks really nice. I'm actually gonna post it on my social media. It's got the sickest like design on it. I'll send you front and back. Also, his birthday was it June 9th?
Yep.
No, what is it?
June 10th.
No, what is it? What's his birthday? No, July.
Oh my God! Happy birthday, Nick.
Oh, thank you.
No way.
It's not my birthday.
What's your birthday?
July 26th.
All right, July 26th is his birthday. 2000. His mother's maiden name is Watson.
Yep. My dad's last name is Sherlock Holmes, and it's not just Holmes, it's actually Sherlock Holmes. I have a really long last name. So, yeah.
All right. Peace, guys.
Peace
All
on the
right,
streets.
get out of here.
I'm going to sing now and we're going to fade it out to this.
Okay.
La 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 la. The man in me will do nearly any task. And as for compensation, there's little he would ask. Take a woman like you to get through to the man in me. Storm clouds are raging around my door. I think to myself, I might want to take any more. Take a woman like you're kind to find a man in me. But oh, what a wonderful feeling just to know that you are near to me. Sets my heart a-reeling from the toes to my ears. The man in me will hide sometimes to keep from being seen. But that's because he doesn't want to turn into the machine. Took a woman like you to get to the man in me. La 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 la. La 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 la.
That was beautiful.
Check out SOS Cinema on all podcasting platforms for access to all episodes.